Okay. Uh, when we are started using the use state hooks, first of all hooks. So hooks are introduced in the mm, React 16.8 version. Now React 19 is there. Why? To maintain the life cycle method of React.js. Okay, earlier they are using a class component. Now they are using a hooks. So hooks is doing all the life cycle methods, component mount, component did mount. So these are all the render. These are all the methods are handled by the functional component only. So that's why what you can say it is achieving a like a life cycle methods. Okay. So now, okay, the last example where we have started and stopped npm start. So use state hook. Wo- yeah, thank you. Okay, so now we are going to understand the use state. So use state is a React.js hook. So that is introduced in the React.js 16.8 and to maintain the state. What is the state? It might contain a boolean, it might contain the array, it might contain a normal text, JSON object, JavaScript object. It might contain anything. Okay, so that is why Aman, you can meet after this class to be this one, Puneet. Okay, so now we are going to mm, store the value. So why I used this one means, so I want the last example is what I have taken initial value one variable. That variable contains a array items, boolean value, again empty array, and a boolean value. Okay, the last example we are going to be discussed here. Then we are going to be discuss about two more hooks, that is a use effect and a use state. Okay, so I will open here. Add item need to be achieved. Start loading. So it is loading. Stop loading. It is working on boolean. Hide item. Show item. Okay. Okay. So here we are using the some initial state. What is so we have first we have used the use state hook and we have assigned a initial value. What initial value contains? So it contains the item array. It contains a boolean false value. It is a empty array and a show items equals to true. Okay, these are all the things it contains. So constant state, set state, use state equals to initial state. The initial state is this one. Okay, so this state item, all these it contains now, this state. So what I want to demonstrate or what I want to tell is use state can store the boolean value. What is the boolean value? Anyone? 0 or 1. or a true or a false. It can store use state or and boolean can use state can store with a string value. Use state can store with a object. Use state can store with a array. So again JSON object, JavaScript object will come. So you can store any type of value. So if you want to demonstrate, you can use a one more thing, constant data, set data equals to use state. Already we have imported here use state bracket. If I want to use a string, you can just use a Virat or sorry any string. Okay, just I am using the Virat. Okay, now what is the value of data? Anyone? Yes, exactly. Why? Because so I am passing a string value. Okay, this is what it is Virat now. Just wait, Suman. Dhaneshwari, what is the Virat? What type of data it is? See, if you answer, yes, exactly. If you answered wrong also, that's okay. You can just answer. Then name, Suman, can you tell me the what is the data type is now? Yeah, what type of object it is? Is it no? It's a JSON object. Why? Because if you have a open and close flower bracket, if the both the side it is having a what you can say key pair value. Okay, that time you can say as a object. Why object? So this is a flower bucket. Why JSON object? Both the key and key pair value are a what you can say double quoted. That is why JSON object. If I just use a Rohit comma Virat, see it is not taking. So if you want to use a string, if you just use a comma, if I just use a bracket, see now this is a string array. If you want to store a strings, you can use a this one a double quote with the square bracket. Now the data is of type of array because of a square bracket. So this is a data is of a type of a JSON object. So this is how it will work. Okay. So now we will understand the coding here. First, we'll directly come for the add a button. Okay. So here it is the add a button is here. So that is we know. The next button is what? It is something. There are two states are there. State dot is loading. Karthik, what is this one? This expression, what we can say? Yes, or what we can call the name? What we can call this expression? You are told that's correct. Not if else, some sort of if else only, but it is called a ternary operation. Okay. So first it will go for the state. Where is the state? State is here. State dot is loading. So as I told, initial state is assigned to here. All the data is available here. The state dot is loading. State dot is loading is what? State dot is loading. What is the condition? Is loading is false. False means 0. When this condition will be executed, Karthik? True means 1. True means yes. True means okay. So these are all called a positive. So or else you can say true. So state dot is loading. State dot is loading is false. So that's why it is not load this one. It will directly come for the start loading. Okay. So that's why what is the value now? Yeah. Because state dot is loading is false. So that's why it will not execute this expression and it will execute this expression. Expression. So that's why start loading is there. When I click on this one, so it is calling a on click event and it is calling a toggle loading method. So in the toggle loading method, set state. What is the set state? Where it is defined? Anyone? Yeah, where it is defined? Yeah, this one. No, I will remove this one, okay? Now tell me. So set state at what line? So this is a line number 20. Yeah. So when I click on this one, it is calling a toggle loading method and it is calling a set state method. Set state, it is going to be set whatever the value we are passing, that is pass the value to the state. So how? Set state. The previous state is I took a one temporary variable. Okay. So previous state dot dot dot. See, previous state should be either 0 or 1. So initially it is 0. When I click means it is making a 1. Dot 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 previous state is loading. So is loading is my initial value temp. So previous state is loading colon. This exclamatory will what it will do? Previous dot previous state dot is loading. Previous state dot is loading is so either true or false. If it is a true, it will convert to the false and it is loading to here. If it is a false, it is converted to the true and it is storing into the previous state. So this previous state is assigned to set state. So that is loading equals to true. If it is a true, it is making a false. If it is a false, it is making a true. So that's why if I click means it is loading will come. So here it is a stop loading. So if I just click here, then start loading. So this is how it will look. And the next is what a hide and show element. Okay. So here what happens? Again, this is the state dot show items. What is the show items? Show items is initially true. Okay. Okay. State dot show item initially true is there, then this button name will be executed. How? Hide dot items. So here hide items. If I click means hiding. Show means hiding. How it is happening? When I click on this on click, toggle show hide items, it will call this method. And here set state equals to previous state. The previous state is a show items, not previous state show items. It means the previous state show item. What is the previous value? So it is a true. So it is making it as a false. Again, if I click means it is a false to the true. So this is a not equals to 1. It is changing from the 1 to 0, 0 to 1. So that is the a major work of a not. This is the symbol. Okay. Yeah. So this is a temporary we are passing here. We need to we see in the function parameter you no need to define. You can directly pass as a reference variable. Got it? Here, which where line number 34, 35. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I will tell you. Okay. So initially, what is the value? Show items true is that this is the value is there. Hide items it is showing. Okay. So here it is a hide item is showing. So now when I click on this button, where in the hide items, okay. So it is calling a toggle hide and show method. It will call this method. Till that's clear, Rakesh. Yeah. Now what happens? Set state method internally it will call. So this is the arrow function. Okay. So previous state is what? Empty value. This is also empty value. Show item is what? Your true value. So the previous dot show item we are associating with the previous dot show item. If it is a true, make it as a false. So that false value is a setting to the previous state. Means this is a, okay. I will go here now. The previous state is there. Okay. So this previous state is a now here acting as an empty. Okay, so you can take any person. But this value is not an empty. This value is carrying a something. What is that something? Either true or false. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are associating with the previous items dot show items. So here it is taking a true value to the false. So that false item is stored into here. So that is again it is stored into the previous state. So the what is the previous state now? True is there. Again if I click here, again it will come here. Show hide a show item. The initially the previous value now it will store the what is this the previous value which is stored? It is stored with the false. False is turned into a true, so that is again it is a storing the true value. So that true value it is a storing into a spread operator. Why spread operator? In the sense it can uh, store the either true or a false value. Why? Because we are associated with the this expression show item. So if you just see here where and all you are used. Okay, so what happening is why we are using a spread operator in the sense either it can first initially it will not contain anything. The next time what happens, either if it contains the true, it is a dumping a false. If it is a false and it is a true. Got it? Or confusion? See, why is the spread operator is using only thing is initially it is an empty value. Once I click on this button, it is storing either true or false. If it is containing a true, the false is replaced. If it is containing a false, it is a true is replaced. So how it is associating means, so we are associating with the this previous state value. At the first time it is an empty, but second time it is storing a one value. How? If I click here, okay, show and once I click on this one, it is calling this method. So this method initial value is a empty value, and show item is a storing us some value. Okay, so either true or false. But here we are associating with a temporary variable with the my stored value. Stored value is initially for, true. Okay, so that a true value is assigned to here. Sorry, it's a true value. It is the converted into false. That false is the stored into show item. So that is dumped to the previous state. Why is the spread operator? So next again I will click means, so false to the true. Now it is a false. Again it is converting to the a true. Okay, so I will take some more example for this one. You will get to know. No worries. Okay, so this is all about this one. So state dot is loading and unloading. What does it mean? If I just click here, start loading, this button will come. So what is this condition? If the condition is true, show loading, or else show nothing. So state dot is loading is what? False. So that's why whenever the false is there, this is the one more type calling of conditions. We have seen the ternary operation. So open close question mark, true expression, false expression. So here if you use this true, execute, or else nothing. This condition is matches, then only execute. Then state dot show items. Show item is initially true, then state dot items dot map. State is what? It is a object. So items is what? So item is containing your values. Item 1, item 2, item 3. Then map. So this item, whatever the items is there, all is dumped to the item. So this is the index value. Then I want to list item, key equals to index. So here I am mentioning the item. So that's why it is printing the item. The next what we are going to do, so we are going to do when I click on click, so what I do when I click on this one, it has to be select the item. So that is what we have stopped in the last session. Okay, so every index is displayed with a key value. So now I want to select. When I click on this element, when I click on this element, it has to be selected. So for that, we are calling the on click event. So since select the item method. Okay. So when I click on this button, it is going to be select an item. That selected item need to be added into the array. Okay. So here select an item. So yesterday we have seen. So if I just do Control Shift I will show here console. If I just item 2 click means say item 2 is selected, item 3 is selected, item 1 is selected. Okay, so that is the functionality is working properly. Now what I want to do, I want to add here. Where is the select item? Okay. So till now it is working properly. Next I need to work it. So I will call the set state. So inside a set state, so I need to take a one more arrow function, open close brace. I will take a one previous or a previous state or a previous value. Okay, so previous state. So again, same thing. I will use a what you can say spread operator dot 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 the previous state, comma, selected item. See here I have selected item empty array. So here I am using the previous um, the dot operator and the selected item. Okay, so here some the crucial logic is there. I think it is making a more complex. Okay, so just hold on. So I will explain. I will give an assignment for you guys because we need to use like a filter option and everything. So it will feel complex. So at least you understood like when I click on this item, so it is going to be select. So just I will save it. Control Shift I. So if you want to add a shopping cart, so this is the how to select a item. So this many items you have selected. Okay, so now this is all about the use state. What is the use state? So use state is a hook to store the data. So that state can contains the variable, object, array, boolean value, JavaScript object, JSON object. So it can and string. So it can contain the all type of a data. The next is what? Use state is we have done, and we are going to be discuss about the use effect hook. What is the use effect hook? Hooks new addition to React say 16.8 there is the effect hook lets you to perform the side effect of a functional component. Okay, first we'll go with an example. For that I want to create a one file, a React functional component export. So I want to fetch the data from the server and I want to demonstrate the use state, sorry, use effect hook. Okay, first what I have to do, I want to define a one use state. How to define? A constant bracket data set data. Okay, then equals to I will use a use state. Say if I click here means automatically it is imported here. Bracket, it is a array. It is a type of array. So what I am going to be demonstrating, I am going to be demonstrator use effect hook. So this phase is called a use state. Why we are using? We are using a to maintain the data state. Okay, data is there. This is a empty array. Then I want to use a one more thing called a as I told, this is array. I want to use a one more use state to store the boolean value. What is this one? Is loading, set is loading equals to, so what purpose I am using? So this is for the a boolean value. Use state bracket true. Okay, so this is the boolean value. So then I will use a one more thing called a constant. I want to set the error object. Error set error. Use state. The initially I will pass as a null. See, I am using a use state here to store the data. I am using a use state for the boolean value storage. Here I am using a use state to store the null values. So what are the purpose we are using a use state? You got to know. So this is the clear. So now what I want to do? I want to fetch the data from the server. So where is the some dummy server? So as discussed, the JSON placeholder is a dummy server we have seen in the last class as well. Okay. So I want to fetch this something called a comments. I will use this is the, so this data is in the server. Okay, like this is a post your Facebook comments. How many post ID, your ID, name, email, body. So this is your first Facebook comment. Okay, so this one I need to fetch into in the application. So how to fetch? For that, I will use. See, I don't want to create a button. When I click on this button, it has to be fetched. No, I don't want. But whenever it is page loaded, automatically it has to be fetched. How? So use effect. Here it is there. Use effect bracket. Then okay. So here it is there, and this is the way of calling a use effect. Okay, so what is happening here? Okay, fine. The next is what? To fetch the data, what we have to use? Anyone? To fetch the data from the server? Yes, Axios. So for that, I need to install a Axios, or else it is already it is there because we have used previously. Axios is, yeah, Axios is there. So for that, I will just call the Axios. See, whenever it will come, no, if I click means here, automatically it is imported from the package. Axios dot get bracket. What is the URL? This is the URL. Okay. Then dot, then bracket response. Okay. So this response is going to set the data where I want to set. So as I define the data is an array, so I want to set here. How to set data? Where is the actual data it contains? Anyone? Is it in a response or any other object? Yes. What it contains a response? Response it contains your header information, response data, and all. Yeah, response dot data. It contains your actual data, JSON data. Okay, copy. Okay, so initially set loading is okay. So now here what happens? Okay, I will just use a. So now I have a data, set data. So where it is stored, it is in the data. What is the data type? Anyone? Yeah. So now after calling this function, what it contains? Is it MTR or it is filled with some data? Yes. So this data I am using, right? JSON placeholder. This data, whatever this data is there, no? So this data is available in the data object. So I need to iterate it. So for that, you will open close brace data dot map bracket dt. I will take, as we told, right, where we have defined the previous data, Rakesh. So I am taking dt as a private one a temporary variable. So here what I will do, I will do li open close flower bracket and dt dot what is that one? Post id. First I will make a id comma dt dot post id bracket dt dot title. Title is there, sorry, name is there, and bracket dt dot uh, email. Yeah, save it. So just I want to run it. Why it is not coming? Anyone? Yeah. So what we have to tell? We have to tell not rendered. So that is imported also correct. The exact word is not rendered. So less than, what is my component name? Get data from server. So I will just type get data from server. It will show the intelligence. If I just click means automatically it is imported in the top here. I will just close here. Control S will go here. Yeah, what it is showing some error. What is the error? Okay, I will just pass one more thing is key equals to dt dot id. Still it will show error. Okay, so what is the mistake? Data is there, so it is array type. Okay, map, map is there, so dt is there. Everything looks great. What is the mistake then? I will just remove all things. Control S, still same error. So data is the array type, okay. So set data we are doing. So whether it is setting or not, we will see here. So how to do CLZ? So this is called a debugging. The data from server return plus what we have to write here. Anyone? Yeah. Response data we are setting to the set data. Where it is setting? For the data. So that data we need to see here. We need to see whether it is setting the data properly or not. Is it right? Response to data is from the server. So that data we are setting to here. So that is we are going to be here. Save it. We'll go to the browser. Yeah. Okay. We need to do one conversation. JSON dot stringify bracket. Save it. We'll go to the browser. So data dot map is not a function. Guess what is the mistake? Data dot map is not a function. Line number 22. You will okay. Data dot map dt. Everything is looks correct. Hmm. Okay, dt is there. Everything looks correct only. What is the mistake? Li is here. Li is added here. dt dot id and dt dot id dt dot post id. I will just see whether it is printing properly or not. Data dot map and item dot okay, item equals to arrow function. So li equals to key equals to dt dot id is there. Okay, fine. This data is also array. I will just change the another API, whether it is post control X. We'll go here, control S. Yeah, everything looks correct only. So here also data is coming properly. Yeah, ID we are passing. Yeah, this is the ID we need to pass because by that ID only we need to control S. Concord data map is not a function. I will just write one more time. You will okay. Open close brace. So data dot map bracket, and internally we are passing one more bracket. Let's say I will take item, then li list item bracket item dot id. Control S will go here. Okay, copy key equals to item dot id. Okay, so let's check whether, okay, if any error means how to debug. We need to go for just Google it, search it. Data dot is not a function. Okay, so this is how we have to do. JavaScript do not have a method map, it is having a array. So in order to your order code data.map, data.produce.map, since a product is an array, you should get create a form. Okay, no issues. I will just go here. I will copy some of the posts. Copy. Oh, what is this one? So this is you got it. How the API will call. Okay. So I am not. Whenever it is reloaded, automatically it will call. See the API we have done a get API and all everything. So only thing. So it is not loading. We will see here. So first we will understand the use effect hook. So use effect hook, what it will do, whenever it is a page is loaded, so then automatically the for the DOM, React DOM, it will call the this API. So this API is hitting to the server and it is sending a response in the response to data. It is going to be set, so that is it is going to be displayed here. So how? If I just go to here, go to the network, clear all thing. If you just see here, if I just reload means, see post API automatically it is calling. The post API where I had defined JSON flows type code.com post. So this post data is coming from the server. So this is the data. So this data we are iterating in the browser. Okay. When it is coming, the response is containing your all the response URL, header, get method, origin, true, all those things. But response to data is containing all your data. So that is it is displaying in the, yeah, console also we have printed, right? Reload it. Okay, I will just reload. No, this is wrong. Okay, so we'll see this one. What is the mistake we are doing? Okay, so just you understand. Okay, uh, we are getting how to fetch the data. So this is a use effect is calling this API whenever it is a DOM update or a reload is happened here. If I just reload means if I just go for the network, so here automatically the post API is calling and it is a fetching this data. So this is called the use effect hook. So what is the use effect hook? It will do. It will call the API when the browser is loaded. Okay. So if you want to pass only one time or like only for specific time, you just need to pass the data. Okay. Control V, Control S. So it means initially the array is empty, so this data is empty. Whenever data is filled with the zero from empty to one or more items, so this use effect will complete the execution. It will come out here for the data dot map. Okay, so uh, what we can say, this is called a data. Let's- I will just see here. It is printing this data. This is the whole the data body is there and like that. So it contains all the data. Okay, so now we got to know what is the use effective. So whenever it is page is loaded, automatically use effect will called. If it is passing in data means whenever initial data is empty, why? Because we have passed the empty array. When with the array data will come, so this will stop this execution and it will come out for this use effect hook. Okay, so if you remove means, so it will execute once, and if you pass the data, so it depends on either true or false. Initially, the Vela data is not there, so it will call the API. When the data will be filled, so this will stop this execution. It will come out of this use effect. Okay. So what is the work of use effect hook in the sense? To fetch the data automatically when the page is loaded. So what happens? The DOM will be empty. So to fill the DOM, so here it is going to be stored. So here it is a use effect hook. How to call? This is the use effect. See, this is called a self-calling, you can say. Use effect, bracket, bracket, open close bracket, and here it is you need to pass the parameter or a condition. Okay, so this is the use effect. So earlier we have done a get. When I will click on a get button, so it is calling this API and it is displaying. Okay, now here whenever the page is loaded and DOM is updated, automatically use effect is called and it is fetch the API and it is setting the data to the specific use state arrays. Then it will come out of this execution log. Okay, so this is called a use effect. Tomorrow we are going to be discuss about a use context, use reducer. We are not going for all. So use memo or use color. See, only this much we need to discuss. We might skip any one of one or two here. Remaining you can go by yourself. Okay. So, but most oftenly we are using this use state and use effect, and next will be use context and use reducer, and the last is use memo and use callback. So these are more oftenly we are using. But night daily you are using with this one use state and use effect. Every project you are using, every API call you are using this use state. Then use context and use reducer to manage the state throughout the application. We are using this methods. Okay, so